Mm, I ask you all to fill in a form. Most of you have done it. Those who haven't, are there anybody who hasn't? All good boys. Okay, good, nice. I don't want this mode. Yeah, I'm going to give you a small, like I said, this is your own assessment of the situation. So I'm going to give you one form to uh, fill in. Uh, do that yourselves. Any one of you online, can you post this to the WhatsApp group? Can just manage without my
Sure,
glasses.
sir.
Okay. Who's online? Can you, one of you introduce yourself?
Hello, sir. This is Avinash.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello, sir. I'm Bahushuta here.
Oh, you're outside. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll have to find a way to do it myself. Give me a minute. I'll do it myself. Okay. There you go. Executive MBA. Why can't I do it?
Storing the
Just refuses to pick it up. It's quite a long one to even copy. Anybody else online who can? There are 23 of you. I think one of you should be able to help.
We're unable to copy that, sir.
Can you copy this? I just pasted it on the chat. Can you put it on the WhatsApp?
Yeah, I'm unable to copy the link you provided in the chat box.
You're unable to copy the link.
Yes.
And the reason would be whatever. Okay. Two choices. We keep doing this for 3 hours and move on. Which is better? I think we'll do it for 3 hours. No, that'll be too much. Sit down, sit down. We'll do it later. We'll do it later. We'll do it later. We'll do it. We'll take a break sometime and then we'll do it. Okay? Perfect. Okay. Yeah, don't bother. Come back to class. You able to start this. Okay. So I asked you all to fill in a form which said, what do you think is a business that you guys would like to have? And some of you gave some. Somebody posted it. You got it? Do it in 10 minutes. Perfect. Brilliant. I don't think it should take anywhere more than 10 minutes. Yeah. There's a Google form that's now linked, which is on the WhatsApp. So pick up that, fill it yourselves. And I just want to know what is the answer for that? No, you're not getting it? What's the role of credit in an economy? Just a rush through what we discussed last class. What's the few differences between sales and marketing? Define marketing as you learn them. Give an example of the characteristics of an individual in the bottom of the Maslow's pyramid. Describe unstated needs. I'm not going to, I'm not even going to list out your answers. It's just for you. And wherever you believe you're getting stuck, we'll just run through it one. Okay. And in the meanwhile, any new faces that I didn't meet in the previous class? You? Yeah, hi. What do you do? Where are you? Okay, sit down. Yeah. Okay, where, which place? Near Majestic. Excellent. Anybody else? You too? Yeah. That's a very familiar shirt. What is that? One, the other logo. I'm not able. Huh? Yeah, 1G is right. I've seen this before. Who's promoting it? Wearing that, no? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you work for them? No, unfortunately not. Okay. Okay, okay. Good. What do you do? Where do you work? Okay. And your name would be? Mithun. Okay. And you said Bhavna. Bhavya. Okay. Anybody else new? Okay. Okay. Hmm. 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 Oh. Hmm. Oh, good. And then you came here to attend the class. Very nice of you. It's a standing ovation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But only this class, or you will continue to be. We should make up our standing makes sense, right? Ek bar khada ho gaya. Yeah, yeah. Anybody else? Good, good. You should. You should. You should. And all other faces are new. Yeah, I think I saw you last time, right? Okay. Anybody else online who's been here for the first time or hasn't joined the previous class might want to introduce himself or herself. Good. Is there somebody talking? Or not? It's so low. Yeah, done. Done with it. So, any reference to this that you can tell me? Who wrote this? It's not your class. No, I just thought if somebody in the previous class did that, we can start off from where they left. Yes, that's the whole idea. I didn't see you. You've been here the previous class? Okay, very quiet, I guess. Yeah, make sense. You're able to get the answers for this. Okay. We'll not spend too much of time. It's 1:40 on this clock. We'll start exactly at 1:45. And that clock doesn't move. Okay, the perpetual timing. Yeah. You're done? You're trying. There's some chat message. Anybody else in the chat? You're trying. Why are you trying? So Mithun, what's the role of credit in an economy? If you're trying that question, or did you get it? In terms of what you learned in the previous class, no imagination required. This is no imagination. You are not allowed to think. You're just allowed to just do a control C from your brain and put it here. What did I teach you in the previous class? It's as simple as that. No intelligence. Yeah, so you forgot. Okay. You're not there. Okay, so you can't do much about it, right? Okay, so anybody else can help me on what's the role of credit in an economy? Yeah, correct. Like it makes the the wheels of the economy progress. Otherwise, if you were like I remember in the previous class, I told him that we all borrow to buy a house. And there was one person who said, no, I don't borrow to buy a house. I'll save up that money to buy a house. But then I said, it's going to take a very long time because by the time you save 10 years, I mean, the cost of the house has also gone up. So economy helps, credit helps you to grow, and credit card is the urge to spend. Otherwise, with no credit cards, we wouldn't be spending, right? We would all be, and most startups start off with them swiping their credit cards. And startups and angel investor. Who's an angel investor? I like his face. It's 1 out of the 10 reasons for me to invest my money on. I like the college from he comes from. That's another reason for me to invest on it. And I like he and this guy. Oh, well, they look like they get along very well. He says that we grew up in school together. We all graduated in the same college. Oh, that's more a reason you guys will unlikely to fight. That's another reason why I'm willing to invest the money on it. And you're telling me a story which looks very interesting, so I'm willing to invest the money on it. But it's still a dream for you. You still haven't moved. It's still on the drawing board. So it's only when I trust you, and that's the reason why I was saying in IIM, they started giving out. Citibank was the smartest guys. They gave out credit cards to guys who are doing their MBA. So right now, if you want a credit card, you give your IT returns, you give your salary slip, you give your lots of things. Citibank, when they started their operation, they came back and said, okay, everybody in IIM, boom, here is your first credit card. So we love the Citibank credit card because, I mean, they trusted us. I mean, what else? And they knew that, oh, come on, yeah, this guy is out of IIT Mumbai. I'm sure he'll be employed, right? The same doesn't guarantee you if you come from, I can't name an institute, but then anything like that, you can't guarantee about it. So credit gives the whole feeling that here's the money, do something with it, I'll come back. And who was this guy? Who started Cult Fit? Cult Fit, Bansal, one of the Bansals. Which Bansal was he? Cult Fit, whatever. So he was part of Flipkart, or he was part of Myntra, one of that. So when he moved out of Flipkart and Myntra, he didn't know what he's going to do. But guys came and said, okay, here's my 100 crore check. Here's my 100 crore check. I know you're going to come up with something else. So here's the money. I'm giving you money even before you start dreaming of what I'm going to do. He's not even quit the job and walked out of the lift. It's the reverse elevator pitch. That guy is moving out from the 25th floor thrown out of the office, and people are standing to give him money. Say, okay, take this money and do it. That's what credit does. Credit gives a lot of trust and moves your account. What is the second question that I had was, what are the 5 differences between sales and marketing? I'll not bother about it. You guys will know it. Define marketing as you learned it. It's up to you. Give examples or characteristics of an individual in the bottom of the pyramid. The bottom of the pyramid is a poor guy. He just only worried about, yeah. Okay, one interesting, I mean, let's always make sure that the guys who are online misses offline classes. Okay, so I told you this is the Maslow's pyramid. And this is the bottom of it. What is this? Roti, kapda, makan, internet, broadband, mobile, all that same thing, no? Netflix? Oh, no, that'll be too much. Okay, so then you have, then is self-actuation. What is self-actuation? Meaning that the act of giving it, the act of giving up, right? I mean, now I have done anything, now I'm willing to give for charity. That I'm sure child relief and you or some noble cause, I don't think I'm going to do it here, right? But that was what Maslow's, and I was reading an article recently and I wanted you guys to know it. Maslow said that my pyramid is actually not 100% perfect fit. It means to say that the guy at this bottom will not do this. No, even the guys, the poorest of the poor might even have an attitude of charity. If I'm what my pyramid says, the guy in the bottom will not do charity. This guy will not do charity. Actually, this guy will not even have love and affection. That's wrong. My Maslow's pyramid has been, to some extent, maybe I have not presented it well, or I have been misunderstood. That self-actuation it needn't necessarily be in that order. The poor can also donate. The poor can also be a lovable person. So that is one chain that I thought I will let you guys know about it on the conversation. Your host has spotlighted your video for everyone. Okay. Yeah. So then describe unstated needs. That's okay. I'll stop it at that. I will not be even looking at your answers because that's not what I want to do. Okay. Then I also asked some of you what kind of a business would you want to start? I found some very nice answers, but I found very few answers. I'm disappointed. I got something like, surprising that everybody in the classroom says you have done it, unless you've done it in the last 3-4 hours when I haven't seen it. Otherwise, I found very few responses. Doesn't matter. So now let's get back to saying, what do we need to start a business? Let's spend some time thinking about it. I need how many points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points at least. So what do you think is needed to start a business?
An idea.
Capital, okay.
An idea.
Let's use this. Hang on. Capital, then somebody else.
An idea.
Knowledge spelled with a K or N. Knowledge, no? Okay. Again, my knowledge is bad. Okay, next.
Business plan.
And with experience comes knowledge, with knowledge comes experience. Confusing. Okay, what else? Put it there here. Problem to solve. Okay, guys, for some reason, if somebody is talking online, I'm not able to hear. The volume is low. Or if you guys hear them, let me know. I have a earphone. I need a market. I need an idea, as in idea geo. No, not that. PNR.
Strategy.
Okay. You need a strategy. You know what? If not for Microsoft Word, I would have been in big crisis. I have so much a problem with it's my problem of type. I can't write very often without a spelling mistake. And then Mr. Bill Gates helped me solve it. Yeah. So anybody, anything else? Oh, I got lots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Some more. Huh? Demand. Okay. Employees.
Research.
Employer.
Knowing the market.
Okay, what else?
Knowing the market. Market research.
Knowing the market, there is market. So now knowledge of market. Brilliant. Okay, we got. Oh, to start a business, we need profitability. We should have a profitable business. Okay. That's the prime.
Otherwise, why do you want to do business? You can do charity.
Okay, let's find that. Okay. Not to be confused as professor's business. We'll make it profit. Okay. Yeah. What do you think else? Not done. Gabbar khush nahi hua. I need one more. Huh? Hobby. Business for fun, that is. That's a different business.
People.
Okay, what else?
People. Workforce.
People, workforce, employees. Who's speaking? What's the name?
Mamta.
Mansa. I think I'll give you 10 seconds. Modify your answer.
So we have to decide whether we are going to start. the
Product.
business.
Wow. Product. Okay. You don't have a product. A product could be services or a thing. That's okay. Tangible, intangible. Okay. What else? I'll take anything you say. I'm still not happy. We still need one thing. Money. Money is somewhere. Money in capital. Capital. That's the first letter they told. But okay, now fill it up and complete the story. I need something which starts with C. Customer, right? Uske bina kya karoge? Okay, so we keep the capital, and of course we need the customer. So now this is infrastructure, right? Infrastructure. Okay, so now what do? Somebody started off with an idea. So I have an idea. I have an idea to do a profitable business. Let's try to link it. That's what I'm trying to do. I have an idea to do a profitable business which will solve customers' problem and which will solve customers' problem. Yeah, help me complete it. And I believe there is a demand and a huge market. I'm not going to take it as a hobby. I'm going to be serious about it. And I need to employ people and all that. Yeah, against the competition. And I've noticed a big problem that the customer have, and hence I believe that there's a gap or something like that. Okay, so we will be able to do this gap. Okay, so we now got everything to understand how to start a business. Great, good. Now we will look at what is a business plan. What's a business plan? You can see it. So why don't you describe it to me? What's a business plan? All of that put in a more structured way is a business plan. Without a business plan, you wouldn't really do it. You plan your day. I mean, you plan the next 1 hour. Exactly. So you must have some kind of a business plan. What does the plan consist of? Operations, timeline, strategy, all that you said. Maybe a little more nicer, but I guess you guys told it in good order. Well done. We're not going to spend too much of time about it because I'm going to move you quickly into another topic. So this again is not my part of the reading. Business plans are important documents for external audience and internal audience. Who is the external audience? Maybe your investor. Your customer should know your business plan. At least you need to know which way, what am I trying to do to you and what am I, yeah. The plan is reviewed periodically. We keep reviewing all the plans. Our plans might go back. That's why we have a place called, that's why we have a place on plan B, right? There's another, we have a plan B, you have a plan C. So your plan doesn't, there's also a nice pub called plan B. So I thought somebody will catch up on that. Okay. So, and nobody tells you what is plan B. Nobody tells you what is plan C. And we don't know whether plan B worked or plan C worked, right? We'll never know. How many of you know a company called Red Bus? What
Yes,
do
sir.
they do for a living? They help ticket booking,
Online, sir.
online and all that. But they didn't really start off that way. They said that if you go to London, or I'm not sure about other cities, but primarily London, you can go on a tour of London city. How many of you have actually done that? Have you gone on a, you get a double-decker bus with the top removed? Mysore. Okay. When was this? Very recently? 2 years back. Oh yeah, interesting. Because I'll tell you there's a link to that. But not 2 years back. So there's this very nice bus. and then you go sit on it, you go look at all the places and all that. So these guys at Red Bus were so impressed, so that they said that we're going to start 2 services in Bangalore for having this. So you sit there on top of the roof and then you go and watch Vidhan Sauda and all that stuff and all that. But you know, it doesn't really work for Bangalore. Bangalore, there's noise, there's smoke, there is, and half the time it's probably raining or it's too hot. The weather isn't really comfortable. And there's very limited business opportunity, or there's a very limited market for it. So eventually that business didn't really go off. But a lot of these investors had put in a lot of money, trusting that it would go. So then they said, oh, it's not going to be. Let's review the plan. And they said, we have invested money. We see you have a nice infrastructure. We have a lot of people. You can do a lot of softwares and all that. So then they said, plan B, let's move you to do actually ticket booking. So that is the history of Red Bus. They started off trying to do something else. Dasara, maybe Dasara is a good time. Probably November, December are the only 2 months in the whole year where you can do this open bus services. The rest of the year is very hot. Imagine doing that in Chennai in June. Yeah. Yeah. And then you come back and nicely tanned up. Okay. So that is what is all about. Business plan is all about how we move forward. But there's a difference between a business plan and a marketing plan. But the business plan is an entire organization. It involves a lots of all of things. Somebody said infrastructure, somebody said capital, somebody said let's employ people, somebody said let us do strategy within and all that. So that's the thing. What we are now narrowing down is to talk about what is a marketing. A marketing plan focuses on the marketing activity and is, of course, the bigger picture. It's part of the bigger thing. You know, if you know Venn diagrams, it's part of the whole thing. So what does a marketing plan consist of? You must have a sense of purpose. Everything must have a sense of purpose. You didn't just walk in there and say, I'll do an MBA, right? There's a reason why you did it. There's a reason why you chose to do MBA instead of furthering your specialization. If you are into a certain specialization, MBA is more generic in nature. So you must have a purpose. You must evaluate the market. And every market evaluation doesn't mean that there is a business. I see a huge market for something else, but I'm not qualified to address that market. I believe there's a huge demand for burgers in this country. And I believe that Indians are all moving away from idli and they're going to love burgers but do I have the capability within me to set up and challenge the McDonald's of the world and all that? No. So one is market and where am I? How am I really fit in? And of course, there is very few businesses where there's no competition, right? And there is a competition which helps. And then you strategize. What do I do? All words are here. Not one single word that you have said is not going to be used. So that's why I said all of this sense, and I'm just was playing around to make sure that you understand the role of the customer. Because the difference between sales and marketing is that in marketing, you listen to the customer. In sales, you already have a product. You sell it. That's it. So then you do what is called a marketing mix. Then you do operational and marketing plan. All of this we will cover in the next 18 minus 3 is 15 minus 1. Now we have 14 hours left. We'll try to do all of this. Okay. Any questions online, offline? Now, all of this is reading for you. What is the marketing object of a business? In mostly in marketing, but in everywhere else also, there's a lot of acronyms being used. Acronym means SMART. A SMART could stand for specific, measurable, and don't pay too much of attention to these acronyms. These acronyms are only made for us to understand it better so that we never forget it. Like, you know, I am sure all of you know lots of acronyms which comes there. And the elements of the marketing plan, I'll not get into too much of detail other than saying outlining the business target market, because there's a huge market. I know if one of you wrote in what you want to do is I want to set up a restaurant. Who wrote that? Is somebody here who wrote that? I want to set up a restaurant near Pina because there are no restaurants nearby. So he's found a reason, and he's also addressed a target market. He's not addressing people in bus stands. He's saying in Pina, in a certain neighborhood, I believe that there are no restaurants, and I need to open up. So that is there. And then marketing activities. You see a lot of things that happen, right? How do you market? What do you do with it? We'll spend more time talking about it. And yeah, I keep slides. If you ask questions, I go slow. Okay. Everything works on money. You can't have an indefinite marketing budget and then go all over and then hit nowhere, right? We'll also talk about how do you narrow down your marketing, how do you be a little more smarter. And there's no business which doesn't have the word competition built into it. So the marketing department plays a vital role in business and mission of the organization. We are creating an image. This slide is going to keep coming back again and again and again, just to let you know that you must know every bit of this slide. This needs to be inside your head. More so this. And I'm saying this, get it in your head, get it in your head, get it in your head 3 times. Okay. Business mission statement. What are the objective of your whole reason why you are here? Situation analysis. Where am I? How am I going to do it? And then marketing strategy. We'll talk everything. This is the entire 18 hours. Actually, this is the entire marketing. We'll spend a lot of time here. We'll spend all of this time. We'll not get into too much of. Otherwise, what do other professors of marketing do? Right? So get this in your brain. So the purpose of a marketing plan, I'm skipping a lot of slides today. You see, it keeps coming back. Spend a lot of time on understanding what is the purpose. So whenever you start off a business, you must have purpose in life. You don't have a purpose in life, that business is not going to do it. And more wider the purpose, the more better the rate of success is. I mean, you can't, for that gentleman who said that I want to start off a business, I want to open a restaurant in Pina, is a very narrow thought process, right? I might want to say, my plan is to open up, identify those industrial locations where good food is not available. That might be a nicer way of defining what your business is than saying that I want to open up a business in Pina and I want to address it. That's very narrow. What do we do after you open up the business in Pina? And now the moment you open up one, this guy is going to come and open another one. So then what happens? He puts more Nandini ghee into the dosa and you're out of business. So you must have a wider purpose in life. The greater the purpose in life, the more is the intention behind it. Because not only are you driving it, and we will go to the next slide, and you need capital. And I'm not going to give money just because you say that I'm going to open a restaurant in Pina. I'm going to give you money only if there's a greater purpose in life. And not only are you going, you need to get your employees all to join you, sing along the journey. Beyond that, it is not possible for anybody to go ahead. So that is the purpose of life. Now, the purpose of life. Yeah, sure. Yes.
Based on the capital maybe, or at the time the resources available. The plan is there, the purpose is there. So maybe slowly we can take it out, but we can start at a time.
No. I'm not saying don't start till you have identified the bigger business. No, I'm saying a good business is a business which has a larger motive. A good business is a business which looks at a wider perspective. You must have a vision. You must have, and then you comes the word vision. What is the difference between vision and mission? Mission is the process and vision is the which is farther away, which is more vision or vision is farther away. Yeah, I thought that's what everybody said. Yeah, vision is farther away. Mission is something more closer to it. Okay, so the first thing is, how nice is your vision? How wide are you able to keep? And remember, you are sitting here as marketing managers or business managers. So don't look at an example of a restaurant or things like that. You're looking at how do you grow your company? How do you move your company? I'll give you one example. And yeah, maybe I think there's a need for me to explain that. Yeah. Let's look at the typical hierarchy of any company. Let's start off with the most basic. Who's the most lowest guy in any organization? And I'm going to tell you who that guy is. Remaining, you fill it up. That guy is the chai guy, the coffee tea fellow, right? I guess without him, we are dead. So, yeah, you can't start the first meeting. You can't start your first day. And then who is beyond him? I think the first level employees, right? And then you have some kind of team leaders. Fair enough. Team leaders, then branch managers or business managers, and then regional heads. And then we have VPs, and then you have the CEO. We'll probably stop at the CEO for the moment. We'll probably stop at the CEO. Now, what do you think is the problem of what do you think the coffee guy is thinking about when he goes to work? You can't answer me what the coffee guy is thinking. You cannot answer me what the CEO is thinking. So what do you think the coffee guy is thinking? How much? How much milk to buy? Why? Is it that how much milk should I buy? How is it today? What's your name? Daniel. I don't trust this Daniel guy. He might all of a sudden invite 20 people for a coffee. And then should I really buy 10 liters of milk, or should I buy 15 liters of milk? And if I buy more, milk gets spoiled. So you see his thinking, and the moment he goes home, he's least bothered about business, right? Over, matter closed. He's least bothered. He's going to then the matter. His ability to think, his ability to visualize, his worry factor is only 1 day. 1 day. This guy has his own set of problems. He's least worried about whether, let's name the chai guy a name, whatever his name is. I had a guy called Murugesh, so let's name him. So this guy, Murugesh's worry is just about the tea for the day, and that's it. No more worry. He is least bothered about the coffee tea problem of this guy. He is just worried, oh my God, I hope I keep this job for another month. Right? That's the only thing he's worrying about. He's not, and as a matter of fact, he's more worried about whether I'll reach in time, whether I'll be able to, I mean, you know that. I mean, we can keep going on and on and on as to define. Whereas this guy's business definitely has no idea about what this chai is all about. He is worried, oh my God, I've got 10 of these guys coming. How many are going to report to work? How many are not going to report? How will I be able to deliver this project? I told my boss that I'll do it in a week. So you see, somebody is talking about a day and somebody is talking about a week. Now the business head or the president, he is least worried. He doesn't even know these guys. He's least worried about whether this guy came to work or the other guy came to work. He's saying, how do I meet this quarter? How do I deliver what I promised my customers that I'll do it? I told them that, sir, the whatever the device is ready or the manufacturing is ready, I'll ship it to you by December. Will I be able to do it? He's not thinking about a month. He's probably thinking about a quarter. He's least bothered. He said, how am I just want to make sure that this last quarter, what is the last quarter? Depending on which year that you follow, it's either October, November, December, or Jan, Feb, March, depending on whether you follow the Indian or the this one. I just want to get this quarter out and then I can think about it. But the regional head is actually not that worried. He's thinking about how do I go business a little more longer. Stopping at that, look at what the CEO is thinking. The CEO is not even thinking about the calendar year 21, 22. He's not even thinking of 23, 24. He's saying 4 years from now, where will I be driving the business? What will happen? Do you think there's going to be there? Do you think today I'm running Ola or something else? Do you think 5 years from now, will I still be into meaningful business? Well, Mr. WhatsApp is worrying about a lot of things. Do you think people will go? Somebody like Google Pay sitting nicely at 30% market share, is he going to chill out? No, he's worried what will happen next. And the next definition is not the chaiwala's definition of next, but it's like the next 5 years. It's the next 6 years, next 10 years. How I go in? How do you visualize the world that way? So a vision depends on how far am I going to travel along? How far am I going to take the company along? And how do I get there? Having set up a vision, then you have what is called a mission. I know maybe I have a fortune teller in my business, and he tells me that this is the way the business should go. Okay, that reminds me of another story. Is that I used to work for these telecom companies, and there used to be one telecom fortune teller. That fortune teller, the Jyotishya, used to always go around in the telecom circle. Like he'll go to Airtel, he'll go to this, he'll go to Airtel suppliers like Ericsson and all. We got introduced one to the other and all that. So I remember that guy coming to me, and then he said, I don't trust all this, but I had to listen because somebody sent him. So he looked at my hand and said, 2 years or 6 months later, he came. I had actually moved from the 2nd floor to the 4th floor. So I told him, Pandit, hum upar aa gaye, 4th floor mein hai. The guy stopped visiting me after that. Yeah. So what's kind of a vision that you have? And once you have a vision, how do you go ahead and achieve that vision? So business vision and mission statements are extremely important in any company's life and working. So if you look at the mission statement, or probably take something more easier, is the vision statement. The mission statement is what is wrong with the world and how would I fix it? There's a problem with the world. I believe that people are not efficiently traveling, so they don't have the cabs. The cabs guys don't wait. You know, Ola is on Uber is solving 2 people's problem. Who are the 2 guys? Problems that are being solved. One is the community. The other is the taxi driver, right? You know what's happening. These guys can't go to office in time and all those things. If I had an app which would make sure, so I have Mithun going in time, and the driver called so and so also doesn't have to depend on people, and it happens. So here's a mission statement. Then you have what is the visions? How would the world look? What am I out here to achieve? How will I visualize the world? What am I solving in today's problem? There must be something that you are solving. You cannot just say that I'm here to make money. There are a lot of companies that are out here to make money. But those are not the companies we are talking about. We are talking about companies which come up with a brilliant vision and a mission statement, which says that how will the world look after I have crossed it, and how will I solve them? Let's look at 3 characters who are very impressive and look at how they, this is something you will read, how they will look at it. Because I come from the sector, but not necessarily, but I love their vision and mission statements. I'm sure there's nobody that you don't know, right? This guy is in news for reasons more than one, including Tesla. He bought Twitter. Why?
Twitter is not disclosing the number of
I wonder. I'm not able to find a single bot. Maybe the bots are so good that they're not able to find a single bot, but that's beside the point. Okay, so look at what Elon Musk is saying, and look at what Jeff Bezos is saying. Look at what their vision and mission statements are. He is saying, Elon Musk is saying, Earth is dying. Earth is going to be eventually unlivable. Now, I must do something about it. So he says, Earth is unlivable, and hence mankind has to find an alternate place to dwell. Because 20 years from now, Earth is going to be bad. There's no way that we have to do it. Maybe the next place for me to live is Mars. And hence, and I'm sure he guarantees, and it looks more likely that I can see definitely one of your children would travel to Mars either for a holiday or definitely for an alternate living. That's a reality today. So he says, I'm going to create an alternate living habitat for mankind. That's his vision. Create an alternate habit for mankind. That's the way he's able to see 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now. And how is he going to do it? I'm going to do it by building spacecrafts, by making the cost of space travel lower, by using reusing materials, by reusing launchers and things like that. That is the way he's doing. So his vision and mission is very clear. He's talking about it. And remember, vision are always the craziest of the things. The vision looks like the most unacceptable. But unless and until you have a vision like that, is no way. Aim for the stars. Doesn't mean that you hit. Aim for the stars, at least you will hit the moon, they say, no? So that is you must have a greater motive in life. That is it. So that is what he's saying. Now, Jeff Bezos also is aspiring. Jeff Bezos says, I agree with you, Earth is dying. Yes, of course, Earth is dying. But Earth is my home. Earth is where I belong. I'm not going to leave this place. But what I am going to do is all manufacturing which is not Earth friendly, I'm going to move it out of Earth. I'll have manufacturing in moon. I'll have manufacturing in another planet. It's a crazy idea. But unless and until you have a crazy idea, you wouldn't head there. So each of them have their own different vision and mission statements. And once you have a vision and mission statement, and you get your employees to go along with you, you have a successful organization. You know which way to go, you know how we are doing. Okay, this guy, you know for sure what he's saying. Virgin Group, what's his name? Richard Branson. So he says all that is fine. I think less people are going to be traveling to Thailand and Maldives. I think the new travel is going to be space tourism, and I'm going to take the benefit of it. So you see what each of them are saying. You have a vision and a mission statements, which is so diverse in their thought that it helps them to build an organization which will have a purposeful and meaning in life. Look at the vision statements of Infosys. You can read it. Actually, I prefer to read the vision statement of Microsoft. Look, Microsoft vision is a personal computer in every home running Microsoft software. That's the vision. How do they go about achieving it? They're achieving it by helping people and businesses to realize their potential in the world that they live in. So that is what it is. Each of them have a vision and mission statement. More of these guys coming up for you. Vision and mission of all of them. Airtel. And again, remember, vision and mission keeps changing. At one time, Airtel's vision was that we want to be the best telecom provider in Delhi. That's a narrow vision statement. But once that objective is achieved, they go out to be a they go out to be playing. This was actually the latest Airtel vision. So now they are outside of India. They are into countries outside India. They are in Africa. They are in lots of other places. So now they say they want to be a world-class telecom services provider out to delight the customer. And then their vision further changed to say, our vision is to enrich the life of our customers. Our obsession is to win customers for life through exceptional service. They're not even talking what business they are into. At this point of time, earlier, before this, it was to be the Delhi's best telco. Before that, it was to be, first it was Delhi's best telco, India's best telco, and then to become a world-class telecom service provider. And now there's no word telecom, because telecom itself has changed. What is telecom? Telecom includes Netflix and maybe even UPI payment is part of the telecom thing. So this is how people over a time modify their vision and to look at it. Now, if you have been following me this reasonably well, so this is something that I want you to read. These are slides that I normally skip. Okay, I'm going to give you guys, I hope there is one slide. Yeah. I want you forget the Google form. Either you can join up as a team here, choose any one of these and come up with a vision and mission. Right now, I give you 10 minutes. Choose any one of them, including online guys. Guys, you will post your answers on the chat group. Pick up, I'm sure you know all of these companies, right? You could do IPL and whichever way you want. Akasa is something you know what they do. Or you believe that I have something, I have my own idea of a company, do it. And then I believe there are how many of you online? There's 23 of you online, and that makes it leaving me out and everybody. There are 20 of it. I need at least 15 online answers. So pick up. But there's vision, mission, and objective. I didn't really spend some time on objective. What is the objective? Hang on, don't work on it. I didn't really say. What is the objective of life? Vision, mission, and how are you going to do it? Are you going to be more profitable? Are you going to run behind mass customers? What is the way to do it? One or two lines on how are you going to achieve it? A vision, a mission, and just to give you, make you understand in a non-technical way, is that what was BJP's vision? BJP's vision is Congress Mukt Bharat is their vision. They eventually believe that there's nothing wrong with it. They're a private party and they want to be there. I mean, I guess Jio started a vision saying that Airtel band kar dunga. That's fair enough. It's up to him to have a Congress Mukt Bharat. That's the vision. When will you achieve it? In 2 years? No, maybe let's say in 10 years. But what is your journey for the next 10 years? That's your mission. He said Congress Mukt Bharat in 2014. I'll not make it 10. It looks very close. Okay. Okay. So we'll make it 20. So what is your mission? Is that every MP, every MLA, every election, I'll make sure that BJP wins. That's the only way you can ensure it, right? So the vision is there. Achieving it is saying that I want to participate in every election. I want to make sure that every seat is, I win it. That's the vision statement. How do I go about it? I do this, I do that. That is the way to do it. I hope you guys are now able to understand the other definition of a vision. So pick up any one of these and join up as a group, 2, 3, 4, whatever numbers, And I know if you are in the class, you cannot do it alone. You have to join up with somebody. If not with anybody, join up with me. You and I will do it. Where is the list? The list is here. Okay. So that's what is vision, mission, and objective all about. Okay. Now we move to the next topic. And the reason why we are moving to the next topic is because of this interesting chart that I wanted you to memorize for your life, which was, where was that? This one. We finished vision, we finished business mission, and now we are moving into situational. Where have we landed ourselves? What mess are we in today's world? We'll look at what vision is. So we go back to that chart, wherever that is, and where that. So everybody knows, I guess most of you know SWOT analysis, right? All of us grew up. And I'm assuming that you know. You don't, I'm definitely going to explain that. That's the reason why you guys are here. For a long time, I grew up with the assumption that SWOT meant strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That's how I grew up with. Very recently, about a year back, I read the Airtel annual report. Now, the Airtel annual report did not mention SWOT. It said, we have no weaknesses. We only have challenges. They refused to say that we have any weakness. And I was very impressed by that attitude. And I said, why do we have to say I have a weakness? I have only a challenge. It's challenge that I played very good tennis, but I don't know how to serve. That's not my weakness. That's my challenge. So I kind of like what they said. And I said, from now onwards, let's also call it as SCOT rather than SWOT. So what are the strengths of an organization? What do you think is the typical strength of an organization? People are the strength of an organization. They could run away, and then you lose your strength. I'm just saying. It's okay. Listen, guys. We are in a management phase, which means that I say something, you challenge. You say something, I challenge, and that's the conversation. Okay, so don't take me wrong when I say no, you're wrong. When I say okay, so of course, people's are your strength. But then what is the strength of let's say, I'll tell you, just to qualify what you said, what is the strength of Tata over, let's say, Sahara? People will join, and you know, I take some other class somewhere else, and then there is something called, would you like to join Sahara with a 50% rise in salary? Or would you like to join Tata with a 5% decrease in salary? If that's a challenge, and I'm sure you are most likely to say that I'll join Tata with a 5% reduction in salary, is because of many other factors. One thing is for sure, that your salary is guaranteed, right? And your boss is not the one who is in jail. So a lot of things, the feel-good factor. And I must also say, going back by this Maslow's pyramid, is that you ask me, Ramesh, would you join Tata with a minus 5% or Sahara with a 30%? I say I take Sahara. Kya jindagi bacha hai? Let me make how much ever money I make. So you see, each of them have their own different objectives. So you're perfectly right. People are always the strength of an organization. What are the other strengths that a company can have? Innovation, absolutely. And they may have some IPs which make them very, 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 very strong. And what more? Always remember. Yeah, correct. We might have a kind of a connect with a customer, which is which makes it so very interesting that the customer is unlikely to move away, right? It could be a customer. There could be a customer who's going transitioning away, but he's most likely to come back. But I'll give you an example, a very, very generic example. I don't know how many of you are from the part of Bangalore called Jayanagar. If you are, you might understand this better. There's a place called Mayas to make some very fine coffees. To make some very fine coffee, the coffee is also expensive. The coffee is something like 25, 30 rupees or something. Just to give you an idea, this guy has got a huge fan following. Huge fan following. People stand up in the queue at coffee at 5:45 for the coffee starts serving at 6 o'clock, and there's a huge thing. So this guy charges some 30 bucks or something. Now the guy bang opposite to him, he opened another outlet. There's something called Hatti Coffee or something like that. The guy opened it up, and his coffee is about 10 rupees. His coffee is boom. The whole crowd, one fine day, just moved to this part of the world. That's it. Mayas guy, he was like the chaiwala. He bought 30 liters. He didn't know what to do next year. But over a period of time, all of these guys went back to this, not overnight, over 3 months, over 6 months, is because at 10 rupees, and if you really are delivering value at 30, you will get a customer. You will really get a customer. And that's exactly the reason why, with all the OnePluses of the world, iPhone has a market. And with why service can be a truly a demanding experience, which can be there. So one is people, one is IP, one is whatever service quality. What else can be the market access, customer base? What else? What else are the person's strength? What else is the person's strength? The brand is probably the most brilliant example of strength. Yeah, and you may have geographical control. You might be that restaurant right in front of the bus stop, and you care a damn how the food is, but people will come to you. So there could be one more. We'll discuss that. What are challenges that a typical company faces?
Competition.
Competition, okay. People again, they can be your challenger, they could be your weakness. Yeah, that's it, gone.
Service.
What is that? Service, yes. It's like bolt from heaven, no? Sometimes somebody answers something. Doordarshan. Okay. Okay, now I've got to structure your discussion because that's my job. Okay, so one thing you need to look at. Okay, so you said the rule of the land is not a challenge, it's a possible threat. Okay. That means to say that I think I'll move to the next screen to be able to make sure that our conversation is structured properly. Okay, remember, threats are external in nature. That means that you cannot. The pandemic was a threat. There's nothing you could have done. You could have given your guys 100% bonus, or you could have had the greatest IP. But if there's an external environment which is damaging your business, whereas weaknesses are those that the company does not do well, which is it. They don't negotiate well with their suppliers. They're not buying the best of the product. Their just-in-time policy for manufacturing is not working. They have a lot of wastage. They're not efficiently running their factories. They have a very slow distribution mechanism. And all of that are things that fall under your weakness. I don't understand my customer well. It's exactly your weakness. A lot of companies don't understand their customer well, and then they get consulting groups like Boston or anybody else to come and advise them. What are we going to do? Yes, I'll give you an example. I was just reading a report that How many of you been to Las Vegas? Las Vegas, where you go, what did you do there? Casino. A lot of, there's what is the other name for Las Vegas? What is that? Lost wages. Lost wages, right? So you see, they've been doing very well. That's the state of Nevada. It's the state of Nevada. And a lot of things happening. Now, over the last 3-4 years, they're all closed because of pandemic. Just there's no gambling happening. I mean, you run out, you're anyway gambling for your life. So it's which one is better? And okay, so now a very rich state is now wondering, how do I do a living? How do I do it? So because it's you were doing very well, people came from all over the world, including this gentleman, went there, liberally gave how many months of your salary? Years, months? No, you made money, right? You have beginner's luck. So you have all of this for no fault of theirs. It's an external condition which resulted in it. So now they have to go back and review. What should I do? So now they are now consulting with another large consulting organization, saying what businesses do we run into? How do we improve our businesses? So you see, threats are external parameters that we have virtually no control over. So things that the company does well, things the company does not do well, conditions in the external environment, that is an opportunity. Give me an example of an opportunity in any business that you're saying. Okay, let's look at it. Each one of you gave me an example of, now coming back to you, okay? Each one of you gave me an example. You had Namma Metro, you had Serum Institute. What's your strength? Let's look at Serum Institute. I think I have the IP. I have a relationship with Oxford. What is it called? Oxford Zeneca. What is it? AstraZeneca. And hence, I think I can make the best vaccines. The things that I'm not do well is I think I don't have a good R&D team, and hence I might be running into trouble. Or I have a boss in the country where I work, I'm not allowed to export. That's a fact of life. And then what are the things? The threat could be that, what is the threat? The threat is somebody could come up with a more cheaper vaccine, or something else could be a threat. I mean, we might really have no diseases. That could be a threat. Nice condition to have. But then what is the opportunity that you see? What is the opportunity? Serum Institute was the one who actually celebrated when the bat was eaten by the Chinese. Correct? Okay, so these are opportunities. So now you guys tell me, what could be an opportunity for Namma Bangalore? What could be an opportunity for Baiju? What could be an opportunity for? Yeah, actually, you guys saw pandemic as a great opportunity. How did you react? Look at how companies reacted. Every company reacted differently. You see that as an opportunity or see that as a threat? Initially, that's the big. If you look at my first slide, it was Akash got acquired by Baiju. For Akash, the pandemic was a threat. For Baiju, the pandemic was a threat. Perfect. So each one of them see it very differently. How do you see it? How do you see the market going? How do you see it? Yes. And these guys are parenting this. They have more kids are born. Okay. So I'm going to leave this at this, not get too much involved in it. Which one? Yes. Yeah, the dishwasher. The dishwasher. Yeah, I think if you guys remember the dishwasher thing, the dishwasher was, okay, this is that company called, name a company, Bosch. Oh, we are Bosch. We know exactly how to do it. Our strength is that we make the best of it. Our weakness is that we are not doing well globally. We are some strong markets. We are very good European markets. We are good. We are good in American markets. But somehow in the Asian markets, I'm not doing all that well. So the opportunity is they saw the pandemic as an opportunity, but before that, the servant maids were the threat, right? I mean, they were not allowing them to grow and expand the business. So you're right. Yeah, let's see what's come on the chat. Bell B. What was that, Rekha? Okay, so technically, most of us know SWOT before we grow it. Do a SWOT analysis before we come and all that. There are most of this, I'll leave it to you to read. But remember, opportunities and threats are external and strengths and weaknesses are internal. Okay, we'll keep coming back to these slides again over a period of time. These are very, very dated slides. I just want you guys to look at it. We'll not spend too much of time. Read it to understand. This is also Apple, how they saw opportunities. But like I told you, that if you write SWOT, it looks like you guys came up from a management school. So you're using SWOT. So now, none of us are going to use SWOT. We're going to call it SCOT. There are other very popular views known as strength, opportunities, aspirationals, and results. This is the same thing. Play around with words just to sound it very little. Or noise, needs, opportunities, strengths, exceptions. Call it something else, it doesn't matter. Just to tell you that many a time when you start reading reports, you may not see the word SWOT, but they might just play around with it. What we are now going to spend is none of that. We're going to look at a new model. And I'll tell you that's the key difference between what Dinan MBA is doing vis-a-vis other, is that we are now trying to be as current as possible in the thinking, which is called the VRIO. What is the VRIO model? The V stands for how valuable am I to the customer? How valuable am I to the customer? How rare is the product that I'm coming out with? How difficult is it to imitate? And is the organization around it? Right? Now, for example, there are certain services for which there's value for it. There's innumerable value. For example, you are willing to give 3 times the surge on a taxi at 9 o'clock because you're in a hurry to reach. Okay, that is the value that you see. But sometimes you want to catch up with your friends. I'm sure you don't want to spend 3. The guy anyway kept me waiting last 3 times. Let me keep him waiting. So the value part of it is something that you determine. We'll go into more details of it. Rare. How rare is what that offering is? How rare is that exclusive restaurant? There's only one such restaurant. There's such one serve. You can't. I guess you can't replace a Sachin or something. There's a kind of a rare commodity. Or the fact that Saudi Arabia and most of Middle East is sitting on a bunch of oil, that itself makes them a very unique proposition why they have. And how difficult is it to imitate? That means to say, come up with another model. Just like the other guy example of now you see where we are. We've talked about your vision of just starting a restaurant in Pina is not a great idea. And then we look at vision, mission, and then somebody else can come and open another restaurant. Right? There's a uniqueness. Do I have something that is unique, which cannot be imitated? Do I have the organization around it to be able to turn it? So remember, these are what gives you the competitive advantage. We'll talk about it. We'll talk all of it into a greater detail. Okay. So how valuable is the service that you offer? Like the consulting services that a lawyer might give to whoever it is, to a client. Why is it that Shiv Sena, the broke up gangs of Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray went to Jethmalani. Somebody else went to some other big lawyer. Why are they always, why is it that the topmost lawyers are in great demand? Is because they have something valuable about the services that they give, which an other ordinary lawyer may not be able to. They may have a uniqueness of thinking, and hence they are willing to pay more money for the services that they offer, right? You go behind the greatest cardiologist. When it comes to your life, let's go to this doctor who's the best cardiologist. We'll do it because he has something that is very, very valuable to what you want. So that is the value part of it. Rare is that who else can give you such a solution? There are many instances where you're the only product delivered. And if you can meet all of these criteria, you have a world leading organization by default. So let's understand what each one of them. Are you all following me? Yes? Yeah, because I'm upping the conversation and making sure that we're getting into a more detailed discussion. What is this? There's some more of that coming up. Bharat Electronics. Okay, right. Good, Rekha. Well done. Rekha just gave a vision and mission statement for Bharat Electronics. Good. So VRIO is you guys will read it. Is a more recent work on how things look. We are going to talk of all of this. We are going to talk about Porter's 5 forces. We are going to talk about BCG matrix. And now, of course, we are going to talk about VRIO, which is going on. There's another word. VRIO can also be known as VRIN. MNCs can also be known as MNEs. We in India know them as multinational companies, but in most of the world, it's also multinational enterprise. So don't get carried away. Oh, I was never taught multinational enterprise, and where is this word coming up as such? Okay. So look at VRIO. Valuable, rare, imitable, and organized. What is it? Is the service that I'm giving in valuable to the user? No. You have a competitive disadvantage. That's it. Your model fails right there. Your model is not going to work. Yes, what I am offering is valuable. The service that I'm offering, the Ola service or the Uber service or the mobile service that I'm offering, is it valuable to my customer? Yes. Or if nobody wants the service? No. Then you have a competitive disadvantage. Walk out of it. Your business is not going to work. Is that valuable? Rare. Is that very few of it? Are you in a situation? Why is it? Just the other day, just yesterday, I used a new cab service called NV. I don't know how many of you know it. NV is the new electric vehicle thing. But of course, it's valuable. But is it rare? It's not rare. But still, there is a certain amount of need for it. People are still struggling to wait for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Nobody is able to completely deliver. If it's not rare, if it's just another restaurant, if it's just another shop, it's just another mobile service, nobody is going to go for it. There is no, if you do not have a competitive parity, then you're out of it. Is it costly to imitate? Yeah, for example, I always give one way of explaining this to everybody else, which is back to Jayanagar and back to where I belong. I have this guy who makes some brilliant charts. Okay, he has what is known as this tomato slices. I don't know how many of you have eaten a tomato slice. Okay, so this is not valuable. Of course, it's not valuable. But when I'm hungry, okay, I don't feel like eating it. Is it rare? Honestly, it's rare. Because there are very few who make it the way he does it. Okay. And I've seen a lot of my friends come all the way from the other part of the Bangalore to come and eat it. Why? Because it is costly to imitate. He has got that unique formula, maybe his sweat or whatever that is, which which is uh, which gives that uniqueness to it. Yeah, so he is definitely costly to imitate. And so he is, forget this, assuming that I'm hungry and hence is valuable, he's rare, he's costly to imitate. And on the VRIO model, he's got 3 out of 4 done. But what is the 4th? Organized to capture the value. What does that mean? But this guy, is he a rich guy or a poor guy? He's a poor guy. Why is he a poor guy? Because despite the fact that there's value to the product that he gives, despite the fact that there is, what is the time? 3, what time is supposed to stop? 3 itself, right? Yeah, we'll go after this. Okay. Is it costly to imitate? Yeah, definitely costly. Nobody can make the way he makes it. But the poor guy does not have an organization to run it. He cannot expand. He doesn't. McDonald's overnight can set up 100 units. That's it. They are rare. They cannot be imitated, but they have the organization capability to do it. The flavor of Starbucks coffee, it's valuable to me because that's a place where I can go and sit and do my work. It's valuable to me because they give me a alternate place between home and office. I can have meetings. It's rare. Yes, the kind of service that they offer is very, very rare, and hence I can do it. Is it costly to imitate? May not be that costly, but then they have come out with some great relationship with their coffee suppliers. They have some great service delivery capabilities and do it. And overnight, they can set up 1,000. They can have franchisees all over the world. This tomato guy cannot have a franchisee. He can't even share that formula because the formula is within his skin. Okay, I think I'm taking this conversation too forward. So at any point, a VRIO model must meet what is known as the sustained competitive advantage. So at any point of your discussion, do you offer a resource that adds value to your customer? Are you able to exploit the opportunity and neutralize the internal capability? No. You have competitive disadvantage, then your business is out. Yes, the value is established, then you go to the next chapter. Understand? If you're not able to fill first point of it, you go to the second point. Rare. You have something which is rare. You control those resources. Why is Australia in a very strong position? It's because they have that rare commodity of uranium. Yeah, whatever, coal. Yeah, Indonesia, coal, or Saudi Arabia, they may have the oil resources. That is rare. That's just one reason for people to go and hug that nation, right? Because they have something very rare. Yes, the value is rare, and you move to the next hurdle, which is imitability. Can this be replaced by something else? People have tried to have their UIs work like iPhone, but the iPhone is iPhone. It is you have something which is very unique. So at every point of your conversation, you must find out whether you have a competitive or a sustainable advantage. We'll do this and then we'll take a break. Look at VRIO for TikTok. What's TikTok after all? There were 100 models before TikTok. You had Instagram, you had Facebook, you had lots of them. But what is it? Yeah, do they have value? Yeah, they have 1 billion users. That itself is a value that they have. That's the value of Google. That's the value of Microsoft. The kind of user base, new OS cannot come and replace them. Why is it that they're sitting so pretty? Yes, they have a valuable product. Rare. Although YouTube has a lot of things, these guys have a lot of uniqueness in them. It's very easy. You don't need tools to do it. You can just overnight do some connectivity. While imitability is not really easy because they have some very unique coding systems which do it. So all along, TikTok is a product with a solid competitive advantage. So no more of SWOT analysis. Start thinking about your business from what is known as the VRIO analysis and look at competitive advantage. Okay, every point, do I have a competitive organization? TikTok is run by a company which has got $7 billion in revenue. They don't mind losing out a market like India. That's a huge threat, right? We thought the TikTok will wind up. Now we are regretting that there's no TikTok, right? Oh yeah, because TikTok has not been replaced. Who tried to replace TikTok? They YouTube came up with shorts or. But are you there? No. Why? Because they just not able to imitate that thing. They have some very uniqueness. And for me, TikTok was the great stress buster and extremely addictive. And they knew exactly what you wanted. Next slide, next video. And then my PPT, my boss is wondering why am I not submitting in time? Okay, so good. So let's take a coffee break. What's the time? I lost sense of everything. I'm so involved in, I lost sense of everything. Pause recording. Valuable, rare, imitability, and organization. And you all of you follow all four of it, right? And see, many a time, the three of it will fall, but you don't have the fourth one. That's where the challenge comes up. That's where the challenge comes up. And we will maybe right away, we will switch. Okay, just as a point of discussion, let's say all the 3 points, we are I, is there in my model, in my business plan. The one that I lack is O. Now, how do you solve the O? Collaborate with other organizations, or if you are the VC, you are the guy with the money, that's exactly what you're looking at. You are looking at all of these and saying the guy doesn't have the O. He doesn't know how to expand. The guy has a brilliant model. The guy can actually do something else, come up with a coding which is going to make life easier. And then he's stuck with money. Lack of money. So that is when you as an angel investor, or you as some kind of investor, go and say, okay, guys, I'll give you the money. Go ahead, buy yourself 1,000 computers, employ 100 people, set up 3 infrastructures, because I trust the V, R, and I that you have. So we will move possibly today, hopefully tomorrow, in the next class, onto another model wherein you take the advantage of VRIO and move to a forward conversation. I don't want to spend too much of time on these things, because these are just to give you some conversation to talk about. What were the external factors that we talked about in the SWOT? There were 2 external factors: opportunities and threats. So looking at the external factors, we will look at those factors which will influence our business. These factors can be macro and micro environment. What is macro environment? Pastel, macro, micro environments, red and blue ocean. What does pastel stand for? Pastel stands for political. Look at it. Economically doing well, socially accepted, technologically brilliant, environmentally not causing any problem, legally working fine. TikTok ran into a political problem with India, and boom, they are out of business. Right? So other external factors which can influence you are, you get all of these slides. You must not write them down. You must not write them down. You should open this. Okay, you get all of these slides, and you can reach me out and talk to me, ask me. You're most welcome. I want just absorb, just listen to it like a fine concert. Enjoy the conversation that's going on. So political, you might be doing anything, but in economics, you could Now, we have for the company that I work, we have some brilliant solutions for coffee and tea growing plantations in most part of the world. It's because what we do is we use IoTs, you know what is IoT, Internet of Things, and we have these sensors, and then we have these satellites, which will pick up everything and brilliant smart farming solutions. So, most countries like me. No problem politically, socially, I'm accepted. Technologically, my solution is brilliant. Environmentally, I'm actually doing things even better. Legally, no problem. We follow the laws of the country, but we can't do business in Sri Lanka because they're economically a collapsed nation. So there you see, you could be doing everywhere. Then you could run into a big problem. Politically, no problem. Economically, this country loves your product. Technologically, your products are the best. Environmentally, you're not doing any damage. Legally, you're doing fine. Your neighboring company, I'm talking about a particular instance, which is at one time, we didn't want to buy Hyundai cars. Why? Because Hyundai Pakistan did some nonsense. So there you see, for some reason, you're socially a stigma. So that's it. Your business gets to be affected. Or you have all of these, once in a while, you'll see these American companies or any other. Why give them a nation and a name? They'll come out with gods on footwear, kind of those things. You're not accepted. Everything is fine, but you're not social. As a matter of fact, one more example of social this acceptance is in my neighborhood. One guy came up with an MRP. What does MRP stand for? Very good, boys. Because it also, normally I thought you guys will jump up and say a liquor outlet. So they actually came out with a liquor outlet in our neighborhood. And you're not supposed to have a liquor outlet within 100 meters of the school. Now, this guy calculated his own definition of 100 meters, which is like going all around his house and going there. And he set it up. He met all parameters, but he had a social stigma. So the people boycotted him. People did everything and got it removed. So there could be a lot of external reasons which could affect your business: legal, environmental, technology, social, economic, and political. So you get to ask what is pestle, you should be able to do it. Then you have what are known as micro and macro forces. You may not be able to see it very well, don't bother about it. Micro forces are forces which are very localized in nature, very, very local problems. Your customers don't like you. Competitor is doing business better. You don't have good relationship with your suppliers. Your employees don't like you. Your shareholders are not giving you enough money. You have a wrong media which is publishing you in a very bad light. Those are small problems. Those are problems that you should be able to solve it yourself. You better understand your competitor. You better get into a good relationship with your supplier. And which was that? Which was that company that we were talking about? Asian Paints. Asian Paints said that they ensured that during the pandemic, they ensured that their customers, the painters, because the house owners are not really the customers of Asian Paints. Because my painter recommends Asian Paints, I buy it. I might love Nerolac, but sir, finally the decision is yours. If the painting is bad, don't blame me. So you're actually right. That's a fact of life, right? I used to always ask this guy as to why is it that you always run behind Fevicol, which is incidentally by default name. And he said there are many other companies other than Fevicol. But the thing is, the Fevicol guys teach us. The Fevicol guys actually run classes for the carpenters. The Fevicol guys talk in a language that the carpenters understand and tell them that what does Fevicol marine mean, or what does Fevicol external mean, and what you should do. and they take care of them well, just like how the doctors are taken care by the medical rep. These are the guys. So you see, micro problems of a company could be that you could have bad relationship with your suppliers, and you could have your bad connect with your customers. Micro problems are problems which are very specific in nature. We are generalizing a lot of conversation because that's part of the economic part of it. Macro are the bigger problems. Today's economy is in bad shape. There is a bad monsoon. How can you do if it's a bad monsoon? That's a generalized problem. A bad pandemic or a 9/11. How do you blame the airlines for doing bad business? Because 9/11, all airlines were asked to shut down. So they are, what is that? Government decides to nationalize everything. That is it. That's a problem. It's outside of your control. There's this political, legal, and economic environment. The rupee has gone to 80. And so my business is being affected because I have to import a lot of things. That's a macro problem. That is not a problem that your customers don't like. So we have macro and micro issues that we will have understood so far. I'm just doing threadbare discussion on these points, only to get you to talk in depth about what is known as macro and micro and pestle have been there in our lives for a very long time. Okay, so you go back to management classes 10 years, we still talk about macro. But over the last few years, this concept of red ocean and blue ocean is a new concept that's come up. And now you can actually go and read a book called Blue Oceans, but then all listen to me for 10 minutes, whichever is better. So they said that you can define markets based on oceans, meaning just a definition. There could be an ocean or a opportunity or a sector or a customer base which is red ocean, or there could be an opportunity which is a blue ocean. What is the difference? You can't see this, but the pain here is the pain index. Here is the delight index. What is the pain index? Is that I have to undergo a lot of pain to please my customer. Very simple. So I am in a sector where I have to struggle to please my customer. But there is another set of opportunities where I can give absolute delight to my customer. So an ocean or an opportunity where your customer gets delighted. And how much pain are you struggling? Least pain. If you can see the axis, the pain is the least, the delight is the most, whereas the pain is the most. And even at the end of the day, you're not giving any delight to the customer. What happens? That's a business, that's an opportunity, that's a market which is called a red ocean. In red ocean, it also signifies the red signifying the color of blood, which means that you will have to undergo a lot of blood, lot of pain. You will have hemorrhage when you're doing this business. Example of this business could be, we all thought Jio was getting into a red ocean because there were already 6, 7, 8 mobile operators, and Jio jumped into the fray. But then Jio is a different company. So they entered a market where what was Jio trying to do? There was nothing that Jio was offering which the other company did not offer. But they entered a market which was so deep, so troublesome, that they ended up with other companies shutting down. That's a market where you will enjoy it. You survive, or somebody else will have to die. So that is a pain. Like example, coming up with salt. What joy can you do be the 15th salt company on the market? What delight would the customer experience? None. Right? Overnight, people just because, oh, Adani is coming to salt, let's eat salt, let's eat salt. I mean, doesn't work like that, right? So these are markets where they're not going to give you any joy. But a lot of companies still enter that market because they know exactly what to deliver the customer and they know what is the problem that the customer is facing. Blue ocean is absolute innovation. Blue ocean is an innovation where you do very little and give absolute joy to the customer. That's like a new product that comes out. That's like the Alexa. That's like the Apple Watch doesn't come there. Okay, that's like the new innovative, the new artificial intelligence solutions that come out, and purely innovation and new services fall under blue ocean. So the market is broadly divided into red ocean and blue ocean. Absolute pain, absolute delight. But sticking around this market are also other markets. For example, there's the luxury spot. This is the yellow part. What is the luxury spot? It's right on the pain model, but it's the delight. What is that? It's the Apple Watch. You still are not doing anything different. You're still another watch company. You are competing with HMT. You are competing with Rolex, but you are a revolutionary product, which people are going to love it. And they're going to pay through their nose to love your product. But your product per se is not anything different from, what's the difference between an Apple Watch and in the basic definition, things between a Rolex or whatever, there's not much, right? It's all the same. That is what it is. And then you have what is green ocean. Green ocean is those in which you will have efficiency in services. It is not environmental. Green, I think there's a line here, you can read it later on. It's efficiency in services. Why is Indigo very popular? Why is Ryanair better? Is that the turnaround time. How does an airline make money? The longer it is flying, the more money. The lower number of hours it is on the tarmac, it's on the terminal, it makes less money. They don't want to be. They want to be always flying. So you fly by Indigo, even before the flight has landed, they've cleaned your deck, they picked you up, and in 30 minutes, they're ready to fly again. That's efficiency in the model. That's efficiency. That's the green ocean. Then No Man Island. No Man Island would be like No Man Island would be like you have a wonderful product, but you're in the wrong area of business. Like for example, a bounce scooters. Bounce scooters, what are they meant for? To take you to the last, to make your last mile convenient, right? You don't take a bounce from here to Malaysia, right? You would want to go by train or metro. And at Malleshwaram, you might want to. I mean, there are models that we are discussing about. But imagine if Bounce were to keep all their scooters in front of malls or in front of movie theaters. That's the wrong place for them to be in. So that's a No Man Island. These are not very conveniently used. Primarily, we talk about blue ocean and red ocean. I'm just trying to tell you other things. What is a sweet spot? A sweet spot is you are in such a narrow market, like delivering solutions for the pharma industry, or you are supplying syringes for a particular industry, or you are a cancer specialist company. You are in such a sweet spot. You're not addressing other diseases. You're not addressing other problems like Serum Institute of India. They are not doing medical things and all that. They're in such a sweet spot that they're only focusing on that one particular area. That is the sweet spot. Oasis is in a world of Amazon versus Flipkart. What does Snapdeal do? Amazon says, I can deliver in 24 hours within prime cities. Flipkart says, I am in 500 cities. They are not really a city-focused company. They want to be in secondary towns. And now Snapdeal doesn't know what to do. What is their model? They are stuck in the middle. They really don't know how to handle it. What is Like what is ZTV, Z5, or anybody else doing in the world of Prime Video and Netflix? How do you focus yourself on that? So that is what it is. But I want you to focus on red ocean and blue ocean. Make sure you've understood these are newer concepts, newer terms. Do you follow me? Absolutely. Yes or no? Then are you ready to take a shot at my next job, which is a Google form? I don't really have a Google form there. Do it. Okay, but stick on to it. This is what you should pay. Red ocean. Compete in existing markets. Create uncontested market space. Nobody even thought of Alexa. So where is the business? Who is your competitor? No competitor. You came up with some great, brilliant idea. Now Zomato came up with some brilliant idea. But now if I want to do a food delivery service, I am getting into red ocean area, right? That is going to be there. You have to beat the competitor. The competition is irrelevant in a blue ocean strategy. Differentiate or low cost. Now it is differentiation and low cost. You have to have a competitive advantage. You have an innovation as an advantage. Here, you have to go behind the existing customers. You have to say, oh, Mr. Swiggy, by customer, please come to me. Mr. Zomato customer, you please come to me. Here, you attract non-customer, totally different market. That is what is the concept of blue ocean versus red ocean. Okay. These are very, very new concepts, and they're picking up a lot of heat nowadays. So now, what's the time? 3:45. Okay. So far, so good. Guys, online, am I making sense?
Yes.
Yeah, said that?
Yes, sir.
Akashwani?
Yeah, Prof.
Yeah, okay. Right. Now we go into what is the next subject, which is marketing. And let me get rid of this. What is the marketing strategy? You can read this, the act of looking at the different markets and doing that. We come to the first time the use of the word 4Ps. And all of us generally know what the 4Ps are, and which is standing for product, promotion, and price. Let's look at each of them from a managerial viewpoint. How does it look when we look at it? The marketing mix is all kinds of things which go on to it. Why is marketing mix? Let's understand the 4Ps of marketing. Yeah, what this idea is saying that to make a good biryani, you need all kinds of 4 things, right? So marketing mix is like, you must have the right mix of things. Too much of salt is bad, too much of rice is bad, and things like that. I told you, these are slides that I don't read, but these are slides that you must read when you go back home. Okay. So we talk about what is marketing. One point that I probably want to build is the difference between a painkiller and a vitamin. What is the difference between a painkiller and a vitamin? Which one are you more likely to take more seriously? Oh my God, you're the wrong set of students. Go back. Okay. No, we normally take a painkiller because there's a pain that we are addressing. A vitamin is a supplement to our lives. So when your doctor says, I think you must take your vitamins more regularly, you're most likely to ignore it. But if there is a toothache, you are really worried about it and you're going to take a painkiller. So many a time, if you are solving a pain of a customer, you are more liked by the customer. If you're solving a vitamin, it's good to have that. It's good. I know I must nourish myself with the vitamin, but right now, what about that pain that I'm having in my tooth? First, tell me the problem for that. Okay, right now I'll solve my pain, and then I'll take the vitamins. But the point is, at every time, what is the pain that the customer is experiencing? And how do I create a value for the customer? That is what marketing is all. Creating a value, defining a value, and then coming out with a value proposition. What is a value proposition? What benefits do I offer? Why am I better than competition? We keep back on and on. And who is my ideal customer? Let's go to another slide to look at it. 4 P's. Absolutely. Any reason why they are in this order? The product is at the bottom, the price is at the top. What does that mean? The product is among the 4 P's. The product is least important or initial. Okay, and why the P? Your entire marketing is based on a product, so you're saying the product is at the base, and so and what about the P? Customer who buys it. Okay. Okay, this is kind of a trick question. The point that I'm asking you is, generally, we assume that the price is the most important element in a marketing. Reduce the price, people will come behind you. Wrong. Get this in your mind, especially when you're doing your presentation on the assignment one. This is randomly arranged. There is no order. The price is as important as the product. Place is as important as the promotion. Is a general concept that if you reduce the price, the market will come to you. That's wrong. And we will discuss it more as we go. So this is randomly arranged. So don't go by this saying that the product is the base and price is the most important part of a business. Now, when you look at a product, these are products. Any doubt on what they are? These are all. So what do we see here? There are 2 kinds of products. What is this product? Why do we have this as a product? What is this? Give me an idea. What is the difference between Netflix as a product and a fine dine at ITC, Dakshin ITC? What is the difference between a mosquito repellent and the tanks? I guess they're all products, right? So what is the difference between all of them? The target audience are different. The target customers. This could be virtually every one of us might want to have it. This mosquito, yeah, but that is true. We will move out of the VRI thought process just to tell you that there are millions of products and each of them have a targeted user. This guy is going to be the government of India who's going to buy. Nobody else is even allowed to buy it. Right? That's point number 1. Netflix is not even a product in its physical form. It's just a tangible form of it. And Dakshin is exactly good food delivered at a high-end restaurant. So products can be tangible and non-tangible. So products can be goods, services, experiences. Every one of them turns out to be a product. Now, let's go deeper into a product. Even in a service company, you have everybody working on the fact that every company has employees and customers all forming a triangle in a service marketing. What does that mean? That for the company, there are 2 external marketing agencies. One is the marketing that you do to your customer, saying that you take my services, I'm Accenture, I'm IBM, You should look at our IT resources. We provide you the best of the solutions, and hence you must talk to me. That's one line of communication that's happening between IBM and their customer. Let's say the customer is General Electric or somebody, or GM or somebody. But the company is also talking to their employees, saying that, listen, we will place you on offshore, we will give you a better placement, give you a better comfort living, and you are going to be working in a way. So there is an internal marketing that's happening between the company and its employees. But what's most important to remember is that the employee eventually is interacting with the customer. And you go offshore and you brush your customer the wrong way, you're out. You're not, the company is not going to get renewed business. You are you're the accounts in any organization, and you call your customer and say, what's happening? You're not making our payments, and you shout at him, they may not renew their services. So every organization should realize that the company has two primary marketing activities to do. One is to tell the customer that we are great, tell the employees that we are doing good for you, and every employee must realize that we must do an interactive management of our relation with the customers. Otherwise, lots of businesses can fail. You painfully get a business from an offshore company, and your employees don't go in time, or they don't treat their customers well. All the efforts that are gone is going into the drain. So that is what is known as the conversation. Now, when you look at a product, I think you know what the concept of tangible and intangible product. Tangible are physical products like the water that you drink and all that. The intangible are the movies that you watch or the apps that you use. And services are a combination of it. At the end of the day, why did you like the food in that restaurant? Why did you like the restaurant? Because the food was good and the service was good. So you have a combination of tangible and intangible forming what is known as the services of an organization. We will then get into, I'll leave this. I'm going to spend some time on it and let me know when it's full. It's plenty of. So in a product, there is what is known as the core product, basic product, expected product, augmented, and potential. What is the core product? The core product is, where do I look at it? Maybe should I stick to one slide? I'll see what is in the next slide and decide where to. The core product is something that the customer is asking for. I want a bottle of water. I want water. Water is the core product that the customers ask is, right? That's it. That's the core requirement. The basic product would be something, how is the water delivered to me? Is the water delivered in a one-use plastic bottle, or is it delivered in a multiple-use, better PET bottle? That's the level of it. What is it that the customer expects? The customer expects clean, drinkable water. That's it. This is core water. Core. There is no differentiation between what the customer is asking. Then the basic product, then the expected. The augmented product would be to say, I don't just offer you water, I offer you flavored water. Now you are going one step beyond just pleasing the customer's need to say that I'm offering you water, not just in a plastic bottle, in a reusable bottle, and the water is hygienically clean. It comes from the Himalayas, it comes from the Alpines, and not only that, we have nicely flavored it with what were you planning to ask for at the coffee shop in the okay. So we've nicely flavored it with some strawberry flavor or whatever, right? And so that is the augment. But the potential product would be, you know what? You drink my water, you feel more healthy. So these are what are the augmentation of any product as a service. Now the thing is that if you can convey this message up to a point, the core, basic, and the expected are generally overlaying each other. But if you can convey a message that your product has a potential of something good, you have a winner of a product. That is how you start developing uniqueness in the products that you deliver. Which is to say, you have future augmentations possible. You keep drinking the bottle that I'm giving you, I'll tell you what, you guys will be cured of 45 diseases that you have. That's the guarantee that I give you. Whether it happens or not, that's not the point. It's the how are you positioning your product. For example, a customer wants a car. What is the core product? I want a car. Go to A to B. Perfect. Makes sense. So what is the basic product? I think I need a sedan or I need a hatchback, which is again one kind of a segmentation. So if the customer can move up to that point, then expected would be that it should give me a good mileage or whatever. Now the augmented product would be that I give you 5 airbags. Then I give you a seat belt or something like that. That becomes an augmented product. Many a time, the augmented product could actually become a basic product. The government of India may come up with regulations saying that all cars must have seat belts or all cars must have airbags. Now, where is your uniqueness? It's gone. The government of India has just declared, or the government, or the somebody has given. So sometimes that no longer is the differentiator. Oh, you know what? My car has seat belts. Oh man, you better have seat belts. There's no longer the selling point of it. You know what? My car has air conditioning. Right? Sorry, I mean that at one time when I had a premier Padmini and an ambassador, that was a augmented thing, but no longer those. So every product goes through a variation and does that. So I hope you guys are able to understand levels of a product. And levels of a product again is a new concept. These are concepts that are evolving in a new thought process. So now when you are positioning your product, you know how to position your product. We will talk about product life cycles. I hope I have a graph which tells you product life cycle, and then we will look at it. Then these are slides for you to read, and I'll not get there. So do you understand a product, core product, augmented, and everything? Any questions? Question is, when is 4:30? No, that's not the question. 30 minutes mandatory sitting. Okay. So what is a product life cycle? Give me an example of a life cycle of a human being, and then we'll do product life cycle. What's the life cycle of a human being? What happens when he's born? Infant, क्या बनेगा, चोर बनेगा, scientist बनेगा. That depends on the old movies where the twins are born and then they get separated. How many? Know any movie with similar plot? Not one. There are hundreds, right? Which have that. So a product goes through what is called the initial stage of the product. Then what happens? Then that product, which is the infant, grows out to be a young kid, teenager, jumping, bubbling, starts earning money, and then guy gets married, right? Yeah. So then what happens? Baby boom, then his potential is gone, right? Then no more. And then eventually we all die. So if this story is valid for our lives, every product undergoes what is called a product life cycle. And we actually discussed product lifecycle in greater length when we had in our first class, which was augmentation. What is that called? I even forgot that word. The new innovative factor. So I think I should not be spending too much of time on this, except to tell you that there is an introduction phase, there is a growth phase, there's a maturity and a decline phase. All of us go through this in all our lives. In all our lives. Probably most of you have come to a class because you're here. If you don't do anything smart, you will decline. It's either the skill sets that you have learned is no longer useful. There's somebody who can do your job. The biggest problem is the younger guys can do the job better than me. So the thing is, I must do something which the younger guys can't do, which could be something else. So that is where you enter what is known as the product extension. You somehow do something unique to make sure that the product lives to have a longer lifestyle. Otherwise, product eventually dies. This is the phase in most of the companies, and we talked about tipping point and all that stuff. This is the phase where companies start making a lot of money. This is also the phase in maturity, is the phase wherein customers get tired. Customers no longer appreciate what product that you are doing, and that is where two things happen. The competition who is waiting because you have a huge market share will enter the market and come up with a brand innovation or a technological innovation which will take them away, or your market will eventually die. We're not going to spend too much of this on it and look at what the next conversation is. Place. The P is done. The second P is place. What does place mean? Why is place so important? Which market you enter is very important. The product has a value in that market. In that place. Okay. Geographical factor, you're unique in that place. Anything else? Product availability, when and where the customers want. Raw materials availability. You go and see a movie, you come out of the movie theater. What do you think the actual reason why you get frisked or scanned when you're walking to a movie theater? The mall has already frisked you for AK-47, grenades, and body. So they don't want you to. They don't mind you carrying a gun, but they don't want you to carry a popcorn because that's more. So what do they do is because they want to take advantage of the place. That box of popcorn will cost you $50. You go outside. I mean, what is that called? Act 2 or something. No? That's the homemade one. Yeah, and you should see how my wife cries when I used to go to a movie and order, get ourselves food at the movie theater. I can buy 10 kilos of rice. So that's a place advantage. The place advantage. Oh, we can go on and on this. So place is very, very important. If you don't get your place fixed, you could be in the biggest trouble despite the biggest product or the finest solution that you are providing. We'll see how much we can go into place conversation before we wind up in today's call. Significance of a place. I do this slide. You guys understand this slide. We are out of this case. Oh, what is this? Corner shop. How many corner shops are there in Bangalore? You get it off by number 1. We are redoing the entire class. How many of such shops are there in Bangalore? Yeah, say about 10,000 or something. Yeah, something like that. There are 10,000 of them. How many of these kind of outlets are there? 10 or 10 or 50, about 100. Yeah, whatever. We're not fighting on that. And these guys, 2 or 5. So we have a falling ratio, right? We have a falling. You know, probably getting an idea where I'm trying to hit at. How many of these stores? It's just one. There's one app store and there's one. I mean, there are many ways to reach Rome. Yeah, there's many ways to reach this. Okay. And what's about these things? Yeah, this products next work, wherein C is the B is the S, the C is the S. What does that stand for? The buyer is the seller, the customer is the seller, all of this, right? This is network marketing, and they have their own unique way of doing business. Now, what is the Rafale or high-tech electronic instruments doing here? So now, let's look at this. What kind of products are being sold? Low value items. And what is the, why is he in demand? So, yeah, but look at it from the customer, and our entire conversation is going to be, why does a company want to be here? Why does a company want to be here? To whom? To the consumer. Because it's most important that the place is the point of consideration. If I don't get my brand of chips in this place, I would buy another brand of chips. If I am unlikely to travel another, you might say, no, sir, I'm going. But in reality, when hit comes to a shove, you're not going to be. You're going to go whatever is there. Let's pick it up. Let's eat whatever is there. That's whatever the brand of coffee powder or brand of is there. When you need it, you need it. So here, the entire fight is about how close am I to the customer. Point number one. Point number two, what do you expect this guy to be? How educated is he? Is not much. He brings in no value to your business other than the fact that he's sitting next to my house. That's the only reason Britannia is so happy to sell it to this guy, not because he's going to give me the composition of the biscuit or tell me why the Britannia is better than Mario, whichever the company is. He's just there because the guy is there. Early morning, he opens at 6 and closes at 11. Now look at Girias. Now, what is the value of the product? The value of the product is higher. The complexity of the product is higher. And what is it expected out of this product? Service, ability to store. He's not going to tell you, okay, Mr. LG Noida, what's your name? Raghu wants a TV. Bhejo. It doesn't work like that, right? Doesn't work like that. You should be able to save it there and should be able to deliver to Raghu within 4 hours, which means that this guy is offering you a storage. He's expanding. And what is his knowledge level? His knowledge level is high. He should be able to tell you why you should buy, what are the parameters to consider for buying a television, and what is the benefit of it, and then he should be able to also go install it for you and stand by to you and to get that going. If I told you what is expected of here is that technical skills are required, he should be able to store, he should be able to deliver. Now, this guy has got all three. This guy also has all three, but plus one more. What is that? Actually, it's in both cases, but I'm hoping that you guys will get this better. What is that other feature that he has? He might also be able to upgrade a customer by offering him a more easier financing terms. So the term of financing, you might say that it's also applicable in Giria, but then just to give you an idea, just to separate between the two, is that he is going to say, Raghu walks into the showroom because he says that I have a 10 lakh budget. But it's the 10 lakh budget of a car going to 12 lakhs is because this guy will be able to tell him that I'll give you a financing option, which you never thought of it. We'll come to a situation probably in 6th class where customers are more educated today. We are more educated than anybody else. We have Google, we have everything. I walk into a showroom, I know exactly what I want. So that is what it is. So this you got it. Now what are these two guys? Apple and who wants them? Whoever has a phone wants them. Okay, that's one point of the customer. What about the seller? The customer is Raghu, who has got a phone. That I got it. I got it. What about the who else is using the app? Yeah. So now tell me, what would Paytm do? What would I can't think of another app which is scannable or Evernote or whatever do if these two guys block them? You look at it. Now we are now moving in a situation where these two guys are the only mode. They are the only place in which they can reach to the customer. Nowhere else. They cannot be standing on the middle of the road and said, Bhavana, right? Bhavana. Bhavya. They cannot say, Bhavya, hey, look, I'll give you this app. No, sorry. If this app is not available in iOS or in Android, I can't even download it. These guys are the only access for this seller to reach out to the buyer. You see the unique position why they're sitting out with. And they can arm twist you and say, sorry, I don't know which was that thing which said, what is that gaming app, Farmhouse? Farmilla. I think Android or somebody stopped them, right? Android or App Store stopped them. So you see what happens is that these guys are throttle neck to your business. They could just be there and they're still the place where you're selling it. That's it. And Amway, Tupperware, they're all where the user itself is your seller. I know how the product works and I sell the services to you. So when all of these have some kind of a place location, somebody who is selling Rafale services or somebody who's selling high-end defense services, where are they selling? Now redefine your answer and come up with it. The place becomes the customer's location. They go to the customer. They reach out to the customer and say, sir, like for the LIC policy or the insurance policy, they come to you where the customer's house becomes the place of sale. So now you see each of them have a certain definition of why their importance is there. This guy has no importance other than the place location. This guy is because he's doing a lot of value add to your product by giving him a demo, by giving them some kind of financing options. And these guys, you can't even enter without them. So now you see where we are worried about. Is Huawei, who's the best example. I think Huawei got thrown out of Google, right? And so now most of our apps which we would download, I don't even remember what was those apps. They're no longer working. So these are the crucial ways in which place works. Normally, place is not described the way I explained to you in most of the definitions. So this is a different way in which you visualize the place. There's one explanation for this. But this is the general explanation of what a place is. Okay, just like what is the 4 P's? P is just a product, but the concept of augmented product, potential product is something that is new and developing. And even that definition of how a product is defined is developing. We will probably go to distribution the next class, or I think we should, right? All of us are getting exhausted. Let me see what the next slide is. Something interesting for me to talk about. Okay, I think I'll go to product in the next class. One thing I'm doing with all of these, for example, promotion. Promotion is branding. Promotion is also last mile delivery and all that. I'm only going to talk about it very little because you have additional classes to talk about. What is the last P that we have? Price. Price, I will actually spend 1 hour talking about price in a subsequent class. Just to, because you don't have a specialization on price when it comes to marketing. So I will spend another 1 hour talking. I guess that's what I want to do for today. Let me just go through the slides and see if there's something interesting that I should be talking for the next 5 minutes. Yeah, so maybe we'll do this just to give one example of price. What has this got to do with price? What else? How much would you pay for HMT watch? $1,000? If you can get me one for $1,000, I'll give you. No. That's the point. That's the point I'm saying. How much would you pay for this torn out jeans? It depends on who's asking you the question. And it depends who's buying it. You've seen that ad in which a girl buys a pair of jeans like this. She comes, wants to go freshen herself. Her mom stitches all of this. Right? You've seen this ad. That was the ad for whom? That was an HSBC ad for Think Global, Act Local. So the global thought about it is, wow, I should have it. She paid a fortune to do this. Her mom stitches it. You say the HMT watch costs $1,000, but now it's become an antique item now. It's really no. If you can get me a watch for $1,000, I'm willing to pay it. Something like this. Or this is like the idea behind this is taking a break from work, just to hang on with your. It's a priceless value, right? I mean, it's okay. What if the boss shouts at me? I just want to hang out with some old friends and all. So the pricing per se is a very, very complex thing. Depends on how you see it. There was a movie in which called Diwar. How many of you have seen this movie? An Amitabh Bachchan movie. In that movie, Amitabh Bachchan buys one apartment complex. And I don't know who is the seller and who's the buyer. And then he says, 50 lakh rupiya. And Amitabh Bachchan writes a check and gives him a check for 50 lakhs and he buys that apartment. Then the seller says, sorry, आपको धंधा करना नहीं आता है. Said, क्यों? आप अगर कम, if you had asked less, I would have sold it to you at 40 lakhs. He said, आपको धंधा करना नहीं आता. आप 1 crore पूछते तो भी मैं देता था. Because my mom worked here as a coolie. So I know the value of it. So pricing is something that's a two-way combination. You don't know what the price concept is. And so we'll spend a long time next class, 1 hour, talking about price and how do I know what is the price that Raghu has in his mind and how do we eventually get there, right? So good, take care, and any questions, let me know. Just one, I don't know, many of you have not seen the assignment. How many of you have seen the assignment? Wrong question, wrong time. Correct? The one, I put one app called Drive or something. I just want to change it to any new, I'll make the change if you guys have not seen. I'll just edit the one of the choices that you guys have. Your teams are all formed, groups are all formed. You started talking to each other, all of you? Yeah, okay.